Played a game last night, my Bretonnians against a High Elf army, and this is actually funny because if you look at the board, there's a lot of my units off to the left, out of the picture. But what you're looking at with his army, with the exception of his Lord on a Dragon, that's his whole army. So it was really weird. It really gave me the advantage of, during deployment, to put my Pegasus Knights and Trebuchet and some Fast Cav and stuff like that on the board, and then his whole army was down, and then I could choose where to put all of my knights. Now you see those two big patches of impassable terrain. That figured heavily into my plans because that was going to make mobility very tough. So once he put his sword masters on my far right, I put all my knights on my far left, and I thought I would just shoot at him and otherwise avoid him in combat. So let's review the armies. On the right, he has it's only 15 models. There's a die on the back that shows 5 more. So there's actually 20 sword masters, and I found out later they have the Immune to Fear and Terror banner as well as the Amulet of Light. So it's probably about a 350 point unit. Anyway, bolt thrower, 10 archers, 2 more bolt throwers. There's a level 2 mage with one of them, and he took the Lore of Beasts, I think. He had 2, and one took Lore of Beasts, one took Lore of Metal, so whatever. He's got 10 spearmen, and then he's got a block of 20 Phoenix Guard with another level 2, and he's got a Star Dragon with a Lord character. So when I was looking at that, I was thinking, well, the best way to deal with the Sword Masters is to ignore them as far as combat goes and keep them on that side of the board, shoot at them, and the best way to deal with Phoenix Guard is to beat them through combat res. And of course, I've got my monster killing general, so that's how I would like to take care of his dragon. So I was feeling very, very confident. I've got 18 skirmishing archers in front of the building. You see Pegasus Knights, Fast Cav, Trebuchet. Got Knights Errant, Pegasus Knights, Men-at-Arms, more Knights Errant. Then in the woods, I got my general behind it, really just hiding from his bolt throwers right now. Big block of Knights of the Realm with my BSB, Grail Knights with my Damsel. So, High Elf turn 1. I think at this point he already realized that his sword masters are going to be hard pressed to get into combat anytime soon. So he's marching them forward as quickly as he can. Nothing really to do here. He takes his mage out of the unit. He's not worried about me killing him. As soon as he did that, I'm assuming that he has that thing that makes him immune to anything except magical attacks, because otherwise I would shoot him with my bowman. And I played this guy a year or two ago, and I remember he did that, so I'm ignoring his mage. He seizes the hill with his Phoenix Guard, and he kind of hangs back with his dragon. He knows he has the range on me, and so he's just kind of forcing me to hang back or to take a charge. Thought I'd get a more close-up picture. That's actually my dragon model. That's one of the first things I ever painted, and I got it for free from a couple kids I know that are friends of mine. That it was all beat up. The horns are beaten off. There's a big hole in the top. So that's my attempt to patch it up and paint it. But overall, it's pretty good. So Brett, turn 1. I bring my Fast Cav way to the right because I'm just going to harass the Sword Masters all game. I'm really looking forward to doing that. You can see I take my Pegasus Knights up. I want to be able to charge the bolt throwers, the mage, or somebody. I want options there with both units of Pegasus Knights. And then everything else is concentrating here because I'm really worried about the dragon, and the only way to get the Phoenix Guard is to do combat res. So everything else on the field I'm ignoring, except for with my archers and my Pegasus Knights. So my thought here was to take my big block, my BSB block that's heavy on combat res, and challenge him, basically invite him to charge me with his dragon. I'll issue a challenge. I'm definitely going to lose my champion. He's definitely going to have some overkill, but I've got a lot of combat res to hold that thing up in combat for a turn, and then bring my general in on my next turn into the flank. Alternatively, I might flee with them, and then on my turn countercharge without risking that unit. So those are the two things I'm considering there, and everything else I'm bringing up kind of just in case. I'd like to use my 2 Knights Errant unit on the Phoenix Guard, one in the flank, one in the front. They're immune to fear, so I don't have to take a test or anything like that. So my Trebuchet lands right on the Sword Masters. It almost reminded me of that game I had against Dark Elves where I landed a rock on the Blackguard the first turn. So I killed 8 of them, and they passed their panic test, but that was great. Almost half the unit in one blow. So he hurries up as quickly as he can on his turn. You can see he put his mage in that unit of archers because he knows I might be able to charge him otherwise. So he didn't take the bait over here. He took the dragon and just flew him where you see him now, kind of towards the middle of the field. And his Phoenix Guard left the hill, presumably because it didn't want to get charged by my BSB's unit. So invited me to charge him. And actually, it looks like what he's doing, he's saying, you know, you're going to get a couple charges off on me, but I think I'll hold in combat, and if I do, the dragon's going to come in and flank you. I bet you that's what he was thinking, and I think it's a pretty good plan, because I'm looking at, like, I almost have to charge him, and when I charge him, I better beat him in combat, or else I'm going to be in a world of hurt. There's just another picture of what's going on. Not sure why that picture's in there. Sorry to waste your time. This, I believe, was he did the dragon breath thing on me and killed a couple knights. So Brett turn 2. Now again, I've been using my trebuchet and the swordmasters. My archers have been shooting at the swordmasters. My fast cav are positioned such that the swordmasters can't really do much except maybe chase them, in which case I'm just going to run away and buy myself more time to shoot at them. At the upper left, you can see I took Pegasus Knights and charged a bolt thrower. He fled. I went ahead and took the 2 big blocks and accepted his dare and charged his Phoenix Guard. Positioned my general so that if my guys don't stay in combat and he gets the charge with his dragon, I'll have my general's leadership nearby, I'll have my BSB nearby, and I'm hoping I'll be able just to hold. And if I can hold, then I can get my general in there and try to kill the dragon. And if he comes in and breaks and overruns, then I'll have my men-at-arms and my Grail Knights to be able to get a couple charges on the dragon, or at least have some options to do something like that. So that was my thinking there.